What is the mindset of the truly wealthy? Martin gave an example. An old man ordered the same cake and coffee every day. The restaurant barely made any profit from him, so the manager never cared about that customer. Martin then told the waiter to remove all the desserts from the table. This caught the manager's immediate attention. Before paying, Martin ordered every appetizer, main dish, and dessert again. A man beside him couldn't understand. Eventually the bill would still be huge. But Martin said a growing bill completely shifts the power. Soon, there would be thousands of stakeholders, because all the desserts were now in their hands, so they became the last to pay. Martin was different from other kids since childhood. His mind could never follow the rules. Even teachers didn't know how to handle him. As an adult, he stayed hyper and chaotic. He ran across office desks during meetings. This scene was caught by the stock exchange officer. They decided the company was not professional enough to go public. To protect the listing, the partners kicked Martin out. They claimed he was only a consultant. No one ever recognized his uniqueness. Others walked in line, repeating the same rhythm. But in his head, 17 orchestras played at once. No one matched his frequency. Until the day he met Daniel, who came to sell his software. Other entrepreneurs succeed through persistence. For Martin, success came through charisma. Daniel had sold his company for $10 million. At 22, he was already financially free. He even wanted to challenge Silicon Valley giants. Martin admired such courage for the first time. If you find a gray stone with diamond potential, you must go all in. There is no middle ground. On the street, Martin saw Daniel again. Daniel had spent $10 million on a bright red sports car. It was bold and irrational just like Martin. So Martin took him to a casino. If he wanted to take on Silicon Valley, they had to bet everything. Daniel would supply the ideas. Martin would manage the power structure. He asked Daniel what hadn't been monopolized yet. Something that could influence the whole world. They must break out of Sweden's gray socialist framework. Martin kept gambling. The spinning wheel reminded Daniel of media streaming. Movies were too expensive to license, so music was the only option left. Martin went all in and told Daniel to continue. Daniel mentioned the Pirate Bay had changed music access. They needed a better platform than that. Music was essential like food and water. Right then, Martin won a round at the table. The two reached a perfect agreement. Spotify was born. Daniel worried about their partnership though. He was stubborn and focused. He feared Martin would block him over pricing. To ease his concern, Martin promised to invest $12 million into his account. No conditions attached. He would give Daniel everything needed. In return, he only wanted trust. From the first day, Martin believed in Daniel completely. In both peaks and valleys. Even when Daniel yelled at him, Martin kept investing more. Because an investor must keep that faith. And in return, trust would also grow. To build something from zero, one must choose the right partners. Martin found a brilliant strategist on Facebook. He invited him to manage global PR. The man refused at first. Digital music was a brutal battlefield. Spotify was up against Pandora, iTunes, and Pirate Bay. To survive, they needed trending attention. Twitter wasn't even launched yet, but the strategist knew it would change marketing forever. Martin immediately offered double salary, so he became Spotify's global marketing director. Daniel didn't understand. They were running out of money. Why hire an expensive marketing director now? But Martin's vision was correct. Old marketing couldn't launch this company. However, funds were nearly gone. Martin had to find investors quickly, but no one wanted to invest in uncertain music. Even with a great product, investors would wait 6 months. They didn't have 6 months. Luckily, Martin knew how venture capitalists think. If they felt others were investing first, they would rush in. Martin told one investor many others wanted in. Maybe he could join the second round. The investor asked who else invested. Martin used the same trick with another investor, saying the first one had already invested. Both sides grew competitive. Martin confidently said the first mover would gain massive profit. The bidding war grew. Martin then pretended to accept both offers, but he underestimated Spotify's value. Investors were ready to pay high prices. He didn't renegotiate. Instead, he switched the currency at the last minute. He changed dollars to euros. A risky move. If investors rejected the terms, Spotify would collapse. At that moment Martin received a call. He and Daniel jumped with joy in the office. When you have nothing, you must make them think you can walk away anytime. By fall 2008, Spotify gained traction. It was valued at $250 million. In 2009, it reached $300 million. By 2012, it was worth $2 billion. When a company exceeds $1 billion, it becomes a unicorn. Huge investors soon came knocking. Martin met Peter Thiel, founder of PayPal. He also invested in Facebook. While waiting, Martin jumped onto the window ledge. Peter immediately asked, had he considered ADHD or hyperactivity? Peter had gone through similar issues, so he noticed quickly. He agreed to join Spotify, but his question impacted Martin deeply. All his fearless drive was really him balancing on a thin wire. He always thought he was just more energetic, but sometimes he couldn't control it. Just then, Daniel brought bad news. Taylor Swift publicly boycotted Spotify. She supported Apple instead. Martin said they offered artists more reach than Apple. Eventually she would return. They couldn't give in. If they gave special treatment to one artist, everyone else would demand the same. But if they ignored it, people would call them arrogant. Martin suggested staying silent until artists gave in. A major investor pressured them to fix it immediately. Next day, Taylor's agent came to negotiate. He demanded a huge payment, or she would pull all her music. Martin handed him a blank paper. Without Spotify, piracy would spread everywhere. Their revenue would be zero. Martin refused to compromise. Suddenly Daniel stood up and apologized. He said Martin didn't represent the company. This shattered Martin completely. At Daniel's wedding, Martin gave a speech. As usual, he made an awkward joke. Spotify was about to go public. Daniel told him the stock exchange was strict. Martin immediately understood. If he stepped down as chairman, the listing would move faster. Once again, he was pushed aside by his own partner. But Daniel would soon realize, not listening to Martin's advice about Taylor would cost the company dearly.